Are you ready?
Let me just turn you up a little on my headphones.
No snare in my head.
Okay.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to our shared channel. In case you missed the huge announcement last week, we launched the podcast.
Overshare, the podcast. We're podcasters now.
I know. I'm not gonna lie, I even kind of missed the announcements. You know, it's been quarantine, I feel like is getting to everyone at this point, because how long have we been inside?
I think we're going into week 10 or 11. I lost track.
I mean, and I had already been inside for like a year. So like I have some off weeks, and let's just say the past week has been one of them. Just like knew that we were uploading the trailer, and there's so many group texts and emails and things going on, and it went up, and then also you don't know like when it's going up because it's like you have to submit it to.
Yes.
Anyway, we have a podcast and it's out, and the next episode, technically it's available now on the podcast
Platforms. Yes. And we'll have a link below. We're already live on Spotify, and hopefully by the time this video goes live, we will be done with the approval process through Apple Podcasts, which is how I listen to podcasts. So I know a lot of people have been asking, but that's just like a part of the process where you have to get approved.
Growing pains, you know.
Exactly. But what we're going to be doing moving forward is that the podcast will air on Tuesday, and then the following Tuesday, a week later, the video version will come out. But the reason you should listen to the podcast is because it's totally uncensored.
That is true. Basically, you're getting a podcast every week. It just depends on like what weeks you want to line up your schedule with. So, and video or audio.
I think more is more. I think you guys should listen to the podcast, and then you should come back for the video, because so much is lost in translation too, that like you want to see facial expressions and interactions, etc. At least I do. So I mean, can do both.
Coming from someone who like literally, I hate phone calls because they're super awkward for me. FaceTime, fine. I need to be able to communicate my facial expressions. But then also sometimes the video ones will have like video stuff that you didn't get to see in, like if we're referencing something, we'll put that in the video one that you don't get to see in the audio. So really there's benefits to both.
Exactly. And we already have lined up a few guests for the podcast, but if you guys have any requests, recommendations, and also topics you want us to overshare on, leave them in the comments, because we quite literally do listen to you.
Please give us ideas. It will be us alone probably every other week, but then we want to have guests because like, you know, we talk all the time. We want to like add someone new to the mix.
Yeah, it has been a challenge for you and I to find things that we don't already know about each other, but guess what? It's not impossible. And today, since we wanted to bring you guys a video announcing the podcast, we thought, hey, what better time than to further humiliate ourselves than now?
So this is kind of like a mini overshare. It's not going to be in podcast form, just video, but we are recording it on our fancy microphones.
Look at us.
We also have a lot of other things going on behind the scenes that I can't even show you because I literally have a computer, a camera, a microphone. There's so many things. Anyway, we're going to talk about something that I've brought up before, but also it just keeps getting brought up because it's a trend on TikTok now. I don't know if you guys have seen, but it's basically showing when, you know, like if your crush or like someone maybe that you used to date, someone that you have had a lot of side conversations about with your friends, basically. If they text you out of nowhere, then you screenshot that and then go to send it to your friend because you're like, oh my God, what do I say? I need to like discuss this. But then you end up sending it to the person that originally sent it to you, and then they're just like, what the fuck? Why did you just screenshot our conversation? If anyone ever asks literally what's going on, they're dumb, because everyone has done this before.
100%. And I've definitely done it more than once, but this is why after doing this the first time on email.
You always say nothing should be in writing.
No, and so I learned my lesson the really hard way. When I was in college, I sent an email to someone basically like talking crap about them.
That's just like, you just dated yourself so much. Like, I sent an email. Who's sending emails to the wrong? I mean, actually,
well, this is a long, I mean, I'm old. This was a long time ago. I am a person who always said, do not ever leave a paper trail. If it is not something you do not mind the world knowing, send it. Otherwise, call someone on the phone, send a voice memo,
she has called me to tell me things that are not, there should be no problem that there's a paper trail, but she still doesn't want it recorded.
Nope, I don't like paper trails. I absolutely hate them. It just makes me feel like less stressed out. Otherwise, you're always like second guessing yourself. Like, you know what my biggest fear is? Butt dial. That is
I accidentally do that a lot. Not even like actual butt dialing. Like, I'll just be holding my phone and I'll like accidentally like be pressing things. And anyway, you kind of left that story untold though.
Yes. That was actually a story where I was trying to get an internship and I was someone's assistant at a PR firm and we were very close friends and she was trying to connect me to get this new internship and we both thought this guy that was hiring me was like a total loser and we were emailing back and forth about it, but then we realized we actually sent him the whole chain and then he responded being like, this is awkward.
I don't think I've ever really been on the receiving end of that.
I don't think I have either, to be honest, or maybe I just didn't realize I was. But I would say more recently, in the more recent history, I've had a good amount of experiences where people saw things on my phone that like maybe I didn't want them to. You know what I mean?
Like you were like scrolling and there's like a nude.
No, I don't believe in nudes
couldn't even
either.
say it with a straight face
No.
because I know that you've never taken a nude in your entire life.
No. I was dating someone years and years ago who tried to send me like a sexy photo of himself.
Oh, so this is bad nudes. Wow.
And I was like, don't ever do that again. I don't want that on my phone. Like, I cannot have that business. What if my dad sees it or something like that? And I'm also like very conservative in dating relationships. So like, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. I'm not even going to send you a picture of my belly button. Like, no, thank you. But, however, my story is that Lily and I obviously met working together at Clever years ago. And I would constantly get pulled into these meetings with like higher ups and executives and very important people. And I would go to these meetings at like big companies and try to pitch like why you should work with Clever. Anyways, one day I was in a meeting. Thank God it was with a female, with one of the most high-ranking females at our company. And we were discussing something because she was overseeing like all of our social media marketing and stuff. And she was like, oh, well, can you just show me what it is on your phone that you're like talking about? So I pulled something up on my phone and we were both looking at it. And then like text after text after text from Chris came rolling through because he was like mostly living in Arizona.
We were still like on the dick pic thing. And then it didn't make sense because you didn't have a boyfriend while you were, anyway.
No, so this
Chris
is like more
was
recently.
sending you scandy texts.
So Chris started sending me all these text messages and it's like, you're like trying to get rid of them as fast as possible. I mean, this is like one of our bosses. I'll tell you who it is later.
I'm picturing it being like eggplant emojis coming through.
Literally, it's like, miss you so much, can't wait to see you, tongue, 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 eggplant, eggplant, eggplant. But they're all coming through in separate text messages. So at first, a text came through and it was like, I miss you so much, I can't wait to see you. And I was like, oh, that's just my boyfriend. Like, he works out of town a lot. The next text comes through, eggplants, eggplants, eggplants. And I was like, oh, the next one comes through.
He loves vegetables.
Like, tongues. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't know what to say. And I was like, at that moment, I'm like sweating right now, pit sweat. I'm like, thank God we work in a career where people expect us to be like kind of irresponsible and weird. If I was like a lawyer,
first of all, texting your boyfriend while he's out of town, I was going to say long distance, but while your boyfriend's out of town, I don't think that's inappropriate or irresponsible behavior. It's just awkward.
It was still definitely embarrassing, but like
God.
Whatever. Obviously I recovered, and now we're married, so it all worked out in the end. But I have a decent amount of stories where I've like texted people. I mean, all the time I text people like the wrong links of stuff and they're like, what the hell is this? What about you, Liz?
Oh, now that you say that, I did do that kind of recently, but it wasn't something that was that weird. It was just kind of like, why did you send me that?
But I feel like my question to you before you jump into your story, like what's worse? Like having an inappropriate like text moment or seeing something wrong on the phone? Or is it worse to like someone's photo from like 4 years ago so they know you're so deep into their Instagram? To me, that's like almost more mortifying.
I think the only thing about that is like maybe they don't have their notifications on.
Maybe, so you can unlike it really fast.
I guess, because it's not like they're going... Yeah, I guess, like, for us, we don't see all the notifications. I don't mean to sound bougie, but it's like, if someone randomly liked one of my old pictures, if I follow them, I would never know. But if I didn't follow them, I would have absolutely no idea unless I can, like, coincidentally opened and saw right when they did it. But I don't think I've ever done one that's like that old. Maybe like a couple weeks and it was like, oh fuck. But I have followed and unfollowed people on accident just because of like bad placement of where it is. I feel like my touch screen is possessed sometimes, and either it doesn't work at all or it's like so hyperactive that I'll like press this side and suddenly it's like followed 8 people and tweeted nudes. Oh my God, wait. I kind of wanted to do it to you, but also I'm just like, don't know if I would be able to keep a straight face, and I didn't know who else I should do it to. There's a TikTok trend where people are calling their friends, they're FaceTiming them and going, did you mean to post that on your story?
No!
And then people are like, what? And it's like, go check, go look your story. Did you post that? And they're, whoa. I saw one with like Colton Haynes and Holland Roden. Yeah, and it was so funny.
That's hilarious. Wait, what's your story? Like, what have you done? I feel like you're pretty responsible. Like, you don't get mixed up in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think the only one that really sticks out that I texted the wrong person. I mean, I think it probably has happened a few times, but it wasn't anything bad. So it was just like, oh, whoops, like didn't mean to. And I feel like I've told this somewhere, but I don't know where. Me and my friend Brittany were in the dorms freshman year, and my roommate Sarah wasn't there. Brittany was sitting in Sarah's bed, and we had lofted beds that our desks are underneath. Freshman year of college, we all had Blackberries. So everyone had actually, Sarah and I were just talking about that. When did we get iPhones?
I feel like it was after like the BlackBerry Pearl, and
that's what I had. I had a pink one.
I had every version of the BlackBerry.
Like, ew, why did I have a pink one? I hate pink.
I think the reason we all hopped over to iPhones ultimately was photo and video, because like we're all working in social media, and also because of like Facebook and all of that.
I'm
more
thinking
iMessage.
But I'm more thinking I definitely got it in college. I just don't know when we all switched suddenly from BlackBerry to iPhone. But regardless,
it did happen quickly.
Most of my close friends though did have Blackberries, at least freshman year. And if you had a Blackberry, you're familiar with BBM, which was like basically like instant messaging for BlackBerry, and I think the only benefit was that it was like a little more instant maybe, and you could see if it was delivered, and you could tell if they've read it. That was like the only benefit there. Otherwise, you might as well be texting. Brittany is sitting in Sarah's bed, I'm sitting on my bed, and Brittany was charging her phone. So she put the phone down, like there's no outlets up near the ceiling. So she gets down, puts it, we have like one sink in the room.
The random, like
it's
one
like
random sink.
A shared toilet shower, but then there's the one random sink in between your closets. So she plugs it in down there. So I can see this phone from where I'm sitting. She's on the computer, I'm on the computer. We're like talking. Very low key night. I think I've told, I don't know if I've told her this since. She would think it's funny. Basically, she had this reputation in our friend group for always being like, oh my God, I have the hottest guy friends from home. You need to meet them. You're gonna love them. I need to set you up with this guy from home. You're gonna be obsessed with him. And every single time without fail, she would show us these pictures and we're like,
a nice in the inside, hot inside personality?
Maybe, but like she would talk about them like they are just like male models. And then we'd be like, not really my type. So at this point in time, it's just the two of us in this room, and she goes out. It's almost like winter break or something. So she's like, oh my God, I can't wait. You're going to come home. We're going to go out and you're going to get to meet all these guys. There's this one I want to set you up with. So I go to text my roommate who's still in class or something. And I go, oh my God, Brittany's telling me about more of her super hot guy friends. Something to that effect. It wasn't like, ew, I hate Brittany. I want her to leave. It's just like, oh my God, again, where they're not cute at all. And she's just shoving him down my throat. It said, go back on my computer. And all of a sudden I hear her phone vibrate over on the sink. Luckily, she's talking so loud and is like on some tangent that she didn't notice that it vibrated. So meanwhile, also with Blackberries, it like the flash, like if you have it'd be like double flash, you have BB. So I can tell what it was. Then I look at my phone and I'm like, oh my God, I just sent that to Brittany. I didn't text it to her, I BBM'd it to her. So I noticed that it gets there. I have to like slink down from my lofted bed and just like pretend that I'm like going to get something out of the fridge. I don't know. I like somehow grab her phone without her seeing. Then maybe like went to the bathroom. Literally, it was like a fucking 007 mission. And then the only thing you could do, because you can't delete like an individual part of a BB, I had to delete the whole conversation. So like,
and she never noticed?
She never said anything. I was like, okay, do I delete the whole conversation and have her be like, why the hell is me and Lily's entire conversation from our like months of friendship now gone forever? Or do I let her see that message? And I was like, easy choice.
Delete the whole conversation. That's insane, Lil. I have never heard that story, and I'm actually incredibly impressed.
I was mortified. And then otherwise, not really any texting ones, but I've definitely told you this story. I was at a spring training game in Arizona. I think it's Giants usually go out
I don't know. A bunch of teams, I think, turn.
I think it's the Giants because it's all my San Francisco friends that always want to go, which includes this guy that this is about too. So I'm with a group of my girlfriends. We're all super drunk, and I posted that I was at the game. This guy that I'm friends with sees the picture and texts me, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm at the game too. Me and my buds will come say hi." So I tell him where we're sitting, but as he's walking over, my friends are like, "Oh, who's the guy coming over?" And I guess some of them didn't know who he was. So I pull up his Facebook and I start scrolling through. I probably was like at least 10 pictures deep on his Facebook. And then he is like, we see him coming. So then I'm like, oh, fuck. So I like lock my phone, put it in my pocket. He sits next to me. We're hanging out for a little bit. 10 minutes goes by and I go to show him something that is on my phone. Well, guess who didn't close Facebook? So the first thing that I see when I open my phone is his 10th profile picture in. And he just goes, "Is that me?" And I was like, yeah. And like, luckily it wasn't anything weird. I was literally showing my friends who he was, but I was like more played it off like, oh yeah, my friends like thought they recognized your name, but I like was showing them a picture.
Just but like so, words.
Literally, that was in like 2011, probably.
9 years ago.
So it was 9 years ago, and it has haunted me to this day. Like, I still think about it because now I'm so paranoid if I ever have any like tabs open or anything.
Close that
I'm
shit.
Like, no, can't risk anyone seeing that.
Close. Even I'll take it one step further. If I want to creep on someone's Instagram, I log out of my Instagram on my laptop and look that way, just at like see whatever you can see a public account. Because I'm always so fearful that there's going to be a glitch on my phone or my iPad or something, and that it's accidentally going to like someone's photo. Like, if it's someone I don't want to know, you got to go laptop style. You've got to.
That's dedication. I did want to offer a little update to the story.
Oh my gosh, there's an update?
So, you guys, I am still friends with this guy. We keep in touch. We catch up once in a while. He lives in Texas now, I think.
Somewhere. Whatever, Texas.
I haven't seen him probably in 9 years. But I texted him this morning because I knew that we were going to do this video, and I was like, hey, really random question. And he was like, hit me. I was like, it's also embarrassing. Do you remember back during school, we went to a spring training game and you saw my post that I was there, and then you came over to where we were sitting to say hi. And he goes, I don't remember that specifically, but I can imagine I'd do something like that. And I go, okay. Well, much more specifically, I had pulled up your Insta or Facebook to show who I was sitting with, and we were going through your pics as you were coming over, but then we saw you and I put my phone away. But then 10 minutes later, I went to show you something on my phone, and when I opened it, it was still open to your picture. And I'm about to film a video with my friend about embarrassing texts, and this is one that gave me permanent PTSD, and I just think it's so funny. So I was curious if you had any recollection from your perspective. And he goes, that's hilarious, but I don't remember the picture situation. I vaguely remember meeting up with you at a game, but that's about it. The details are foggy.
Oh my gosh.
So, but then I was like, oh my God, that's even better. And he was like, why is that better? And I was like, cause now I can tell people, if you have something like that where you've been mortified for years and holding on to this like, oh my God, he thinks that I'm crazy because he remembers that, they might not remember it all. They didn't even realize it happened.
Especially guys, I think, don't remember most things.
I was really hoping at first he was gonna be like, oh my God, yeah, and we laughed about it and like made fun of you. But no, they probably were just like,
gosh. No, I can tell you that this kind of stuff does bring me a lot of stress, for sure. And that I'm the person who's like constantly making sure my phone is locked. Because remember on Blackberries, they weren't really locked. Like, you could like go into someone's phone, which I
feel like I'm having like a memory blackout of technology. Like, I don't remember how Blackberries work. I kind of want to order one and like.
Oh my gosh, I loved the original Blackberry because you typed and it had a real keyboard. It wasn't touchscreen. It was amazing. The Pearl had that little ball. Did your Blackberry have a touchscreen? No. But,
I would scroll it when I was stressed.
I loved
it got
my
so
Blackberry.
Gross, though.
It was truly disgusting. I would take the ball out to clean it.
You had to.
It was so disgusting. But I can say this. Chris is the only person in my life, period. Well, besides your passcode, I don't want to like put you on blast, but it's pretty easy to figure out.
It's all zeros, we know.
He's the only person I've ever had access to like all of his accounts. And I literally never go into them at all, ever. There's nothing in there for me.
Well, why would you?
I don't know, because I know a lot of people who are like creeping on their significant others.
But also, I feel like you guys are together too much. Who's Chris cheating on you with?
I mean, definitely no one. He's not even like ordering.
You're like looking through his
secretly.
texts and it's like me.
No, but I think like that's a part of it too, that people get themselves in trouble because they're being too nosy. You just have to stop creeping on people.
The TikTok I saw the other day.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, I sent it to Joss. I sent it to Megan too because I told Megan that this is something she would have done as a 14-year-old. This girl, I just need to play it.
Put a finger down if you had the biggest crush on your guy best friend in high school, and one day he logged into his Twitter on your iPad and he forgot to log it out when he gave it back to you. So of course you didn't log it out, you left it logged in so you could read all his messages anytime you wanted. And then one day he was at a party and he called you to come pick him up because he was too drunk to drive home. Well, you couldn't go get him because your parents were really strict and never let you leave the house, especially to pick up a boy in the middle of the night. So you called him another ride, but you went on his Twitter and you messaged yourself from his Twitter and confessed his love for you. And then in the morning, when he was sober, he thought he sent that message to you and he was really confused, and you just played along with it like you were super confused too, and you never told him that you actually sent that message, and then you convinced him that he loved you.
I was screaming. I'm like, are you, that's
Honestly,
evil genius type shit.
She needs to channel that energy into like the FBI or secret ops or something, because that, like when she was
That's
just like,
so
put a
ballsy.
finger down, and then at the end she was just like, I was like, that is
I just
terrifying.
like, I cannot imagine.
No, not at all. And I know that I have a lot more stories like this.
That's why we have this new podcast called Overshare, so we could share over there. This was just a tease. So if you liked any of these stories, there's a lot more where these came from on the podcast that you should go
Exactly. And leave a comment below, like I said, with your guest pick and your topic pick, but more importantly, leave a comment below letting us know what weird texting situation you've gotten yourself into, because this is a safe space.
I want this to turn into, guys, if you've been watching my story times, the comment section has just been going off. The stories I'm reading, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I know you guys so much more now.
Treasure troves on the next level.
Let's do the same thing here.
Leave a comment below. Also, hope you guys are doing well wherever it is. If you're still on lockdown or stay at home or whatever you want to call it, we're going to be at home probably until the end of time. So just like really leaning into it at this point.
Also, fun fact I want to insert is my friend that I had showed his own picture of himself to during the baseball game. I would like everyone to know that he is on TikTok, and I told him without even knowing, he posted one of them on Instagram, and I was like, you need to do more of the trending dances. You are like a TikTok dream, like a hot straight guy that can dance that actually has rhythm. That's
100%.
I go on his TikTok and he already has a bunch of things that have gone viral.
Step, being, ride, up, down, come here, give me high five, yeah, I love my guys, we gon' ride the way we hit that groove, they say you so smooth, yeah, you so...
Go follow him. I don't know what his thing is. Shane something. I'll put it on the screen.
A TikTok star on the rise. Well, Lily, this has been really fun. I feel like we should tell each other what we tell our guests. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you for sharing.
You
I really didn't know where to look because honestly, guys, we're FaceTiming because that's like the most instant audio we could get. But then I'm filming on a camera and then it's just like...
It's a lot.
Do I look at the lens?
Where do I look? Who
Actually,
am I?
so we'll put each other next to each other. So you turn to the left. And
My
I'll turn,
left? Okay.
Yeah. And I'll turn to my right and do it like that.
Okay,
1,
so
2,
3.
Thank
Thank you for sharing.
Why'd you say it so slow?
I was just following your lead.
Anyway, that's it for today. Please subscribe. Go check out our Patreon because all these videos are usually up there a day early.
Also, super exciting announcement that we're going to have merch coming very soon, and it's going to be available first on Patreon. We've already finished the designs. Honestly, actually really, really cute. And we have some other fun stuff coming too. So be sure to subscribe and head over there because more is more.
Anyway, that's it.
Bye, Lil. Bye, world.
Bye, Joss.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.